Hey everybody, it's me Skytrius, or Michael. Today I want to show you Vigil once again, but maybe in a bit more of a structured manner. I got your critique from last time, and I thought the video that I output was maybe a little bit too early, or maybe I was a bit too hyped for the release. So let's go over what Vigil really is. Right now you see I have nothing really opened. I can go in and open up Vigil. It will start up at the last location that I was in. In this case, I'm in my local Vigil project, as you can see here, Vigil source. And I'm in my UI project, or in the UI package at element odin. So this is the part where we're in right now. This is the literal code, but only the definition is extracted and shown in Vigil. Meaning I can go in and actually open this code up, and this is what it would look like. There are a bunch of procedures, and on the Vigil side we only really see set window, for example. The actual code is not shown. So what we could do here now is one of the big things with Vigil is we can actually just write some comments. And you will see it actually writes it into the source code, which is very helpful in case you are an open source project or just commenting your own code. Vigil will help you actually document your code. Now with that said, Vigil is mostly about this documentation view. You can see everything at a high level, so structs, procedures, any constants, bit sets, whatever is statically defined, and we can jump to definitions and back. With our history, we can just quickly navigate everything. There's also the minimap on the right side of the screen, where you can kind of get an overview of what your definitions are. So this very green color are enums. This blue color in this theme is structs. This gray part is actually showing you that the region is commented. So in this case, the element has a comment, and these ones are procedures, and you can see some of these are uncommented. And that's really about what Vigil is at a big scale. It helps you kind of get this documentation feel of your code base. Now, when we want to look more into our workspace, we can actually go back to the dashboard here. This is describing your whole project as a whole. It gathers all the statistics about your project at the start or after changes as well. So what we can see here right now, Vigil itself is, for example, has 9 packages, or is built off 9 packages, has 142 files, lots of lines of code, lots of procedures, and in general, you also see the amount of comments we have in general. Maybe you have some form of code base has to be 10% or fully commented or whatever. We also have contributor mix if you have multiple people working on a workspace. In this case, it's just me. Then there's also the package table, which you can sort after maybe the biggest lines of code. In this case, the UI library is very big, but also the Vigil implementation is pretty big. And yeah, that's a dashboard. It gives you this kind of quick and dirty way of looking at everything, and you can jump, for example, to the UI package as a whole and take a look at everything at once if you want, or you can go deeper and just go to the file level. Oh, one thing I forgot to mention is there's also documentation gaps now. For example, this becomes very useful when you have large procedures. We can actually filter based on what we're searching for. So large procedures in this case, it's already sorted. So parse operand has the most missing lines or most uncommented lines, and it maybe makes sense to comment this. So in this case, we can jump to it, maybe open up the code for it right here, and we can look through all the code, find out what it's really about, and then maybe add a comment to it. Now, Vigil also has a quick open, which you can access via pressing the button or the keyboard combination. And now we can start looking through the high-level things, or we're looking for something. For example, white exists in my code base. I can just easily jump to that, and we will jump straight to the definition. Also, it's cool we have this favorite action here, where we can toggle it and then go to the favorites tab, and then we see a bunch of favorites I've already done once, and we can jump to one. With the mouse we can go back and jump to it again, or to some other thing, in this case element. And yeah, it has the whole browser feel where you can kind of jump back and forth very quickly. One new thing is also we have the package graph, which actually gives you sort of an overview or like a visual graph of all your packages in your project. In this case, this is the package graph for Vigil. Maybe not that interesting, but this is how it's built up. And we can see when we hover over certain packages, at a glance, we can click it once and pin it. We can see what it imports, where it's imported from. So the source in this case is the user, and also what packages it uses. So in this case, external means it's mostly core or base. This one, interesting, maybe the MVG model. There's a bunch of stuff, and then it uses the renderer. Vigil also has the overview tab, which as it's saying here, it's pretty much just the overview MD file from the Odin website. It's just a local copy, so this is not always kept up to date. But in case you need to maybe read up on something on how Odin works specifically, you can also just stay within Vigil. Okay, a big thing with version 1.0.3 is it was mostly a stability update. So one thing, Ginger Bill tried out Vigil for a Django effect. They have a huge code base, and he tried running it, and it took 25 minutes or so. Not exactly sure why, but I did a bunch of optimizations, and now huge code bases should load relatively quickly. So in this case, we can see I have the Odin source code. In this case, it's 300k lines originally. I deduplicated it a little bit, so it's 1 mil now, and you can see it actually loaded quite quickly. So yeah, large code bases should now work much more smoothly. For Ginger Build, went from 25 minutes to I think 1.7 seconds. And in case it still takes a long time, there's now in the settings menu, there's also diagnostics. In case it's still taking long, you can send me those stats and I can keep improving things. Another thing that came with this update was scaling. So what we see right now is actually the interface is scaled up by 25%. I can go even higher, and you'll see the UI still works pretty much the same. And we can go back to 1.x. And yeah, this took quite a lot of effort, and MVG is now deeply integrated in Vigil to support this stuff. Themes and everything still works pretty much the same. And yeah. Oh, one last thing, in the settings menu you also see a bunch of things. Just explore it a little bit. In this case, for example, you saw me open code. You can configure it here to some other editors I have supported by default. Or you can also customize it through a shell script. You can switch between different themes. There's also the dashboard header art. So in this case, I can go into the dashboard. This is the header art. We can change it to something different if we want, and now it's this. So yeah, really depends on what you like. There's just only a few, so if you have any other suggestions, please let me know. There's also local data in case you ever have to look at your logs, or there's also your Workspaces JSON file, which is all your currently open things. And there's also a bunch of things you can still edit in there, like key bindings and stuff like that, that aren't really configurable in the settings UI yet. And lastly, there's also the minimap stuff, where you can customize how the minimap should look for a specific theme.